Hey guys, so if you follow me on Instagram, I've kind of been, not on purpose, but dropping hints all over the place that we've had a big life change. So I figured it was time to finally announce it. We've known what's been going on for quite some time, but obviously to honor the company John was working for and just our family's privacy at the time, we were allowing him to finish his time with that company. So if you haven't guessed by now, John left his job and is pursuing something that's exciting for our family. So do you want to go from there?
Hey guys, I'm back. Basically it started a little while back where just the hours had been getting pretty intense for a while, and it was really...
They're already kind of intense. They've always been...
Well, I guess, it's kind of crazy. I guess what we would call as normal, people would call intense.
Right. Normal for us, he would leave at like 8 o'clock in the morning and come home between 8 and 9 at night, which we've made that work for our family for years. Between, choosing to homeschool, right. One of the reasons we chose to homeschool was so that we could spend as much family time as possible.
Because we knew the hours were bad already.
Yeah, we've always had a family breakfast instead of a family dinner in order to kind of remedy that and still have some focused family time. So it wasn't completely destroying our family. We've always figured out a way to make it work. I think there's always hope in every situation. If two parents are intentional, or one parent, whatever your situation is, if you're intentional about the time you get with your children and your family, there's always a way to make it work. So I want to make sure that we say that.
I'm not saying that people who are stuck in long hours are toasted.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that in our particular family situation, it got to a certain point to where it was really affecting my relationship with the kids and with Abby. And the dynamic that we had become used to, we started to realize was becoming pretty unhealthy for our family. And again, it just, it probably hit certain families differently. And it just started to affect us. And I was able to, God was able to start pointing that out to me, that, hey, are you sure there's not another option? Before I was working with this company,
which he's been there for 12 years now, just
right.
about. So it was a great, sorry, I feel like I'm like trying to be a PR.
You don't need to.
I'm being like a PR rep for the company. The company was so good to us when we needed it.
Exactly.
It's been a huge blessing to our family.
100%.
Our family was able to really get established. We were able to purchase a home and have health insurance when it was very necessary.
I'm not dogging the company.
Okay.
The Lord used the company for what we needed it for sure.
And there were times when we were ready to leave, but God hadn't opened that door, and so we had to accept that this is where we were. Right. And
He sustained us through all of it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not dogging the company. The company's
Go
a blessing.
on my Instagram and I'll dog the company. That's where I always dog.
Okay. Listen.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay.
Before you were saying before you were with this company.
Before I started working there, I had worked for my father's business for a good amount of time, and I was growing to be pretty serious in his business until my hours and my position picked up with the other company that I was with. So I went with the other company, and I left my father's business. But now he was at the point this last year where he is talking about, over the next couple of years, he's going to be stepping down. And there's not really anybody else who the business is going to go to, because my brother lives way up north, and he doesn't have any plans to come back down here. So I was talking to a friend on the phone one day, actually my pastor, and he had said, from what you're describing to me, you sound kind of like a frog in a frying pan, and I realized that this might be an opportunity that God's opening up a door for Abby and I.
Like we've been in the heat, and the heat keeps getting turned up, and we're just getting used to it.
Right.
We don't realize we can just
jump.
We
don't realize we can jump out.
That's the frog in the frying pan analogy.
Yeah. So,
because we had tried so hard to always stay positive. I think we'd always be like, if people would say, oh, he's not home yet, I'm just, no, but it's okay, because we just do breakfast together, and just always trying to like not think negatively, because what's the point in being negative about your situation? And so we just never really thought about other options, or really considered that it was kind of, we were self-destructing a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
We do have, if for those of you who follow me as far as homeschooling related stuff, you know that we do have a child with some sensory, maybe some special need type of situation. I don't want to throw the word special need out there, because I know that so many of you deal with some very difficult situations. So I'm not, it's nowhere near like an autistic or, you know, type of situation, but even just the small amount of difficulties that we have on occasion were still all on my shoulders, and it has been very, very difficult. And so because of that, I feel like on occasion I have to neglect my relationship with my other kids, because these long 14, 15-hour days, 6 days a week, all of that stuff kind of falls on me. And one of the things that I started to notice, if I can get personal here about our kids, is that my older daughter, she's 9, she's starting to kind of pull off from the little kids in our family now, and I haven't had the opportunity to pursue her heart and kind of like not keep, with these hours, I just need her to fall in line and be a part of the little kids. And what I noticed is that she's not necessarily upset with me about that, but I see her wanting to be upset with him, because it's his hours that are taking her away from me, and you know, it's just, or me away from her, and that's been a tough situation. And so the timing of this is really good as far as that goes. I'm grateful for it, but I can't imagine now how we would have gone through those waters maybe with our sons when they're a little older and really, really need him to be home, and there's just not time to figure it out.
And again, it's not dogging the company. I mean, there's guys who, the point is here, it was not working for our family. It was not working for our
and we
kids.
had another option.
And we had another option, yes. We had a fallback option, that's correct.
Like, there is hope in every situation, but because we had another option, there really was no reason to continue the chaos for our children. I think it's been so hard to watch too. He wants to be so intentional and involved in the kids' lives, and it's just been so hard for me to even enjoy the time that I have with them, because I know that he would enjoy it too. It's just such a, any of you whose husbands travel for work, or whose husbands have long hours, you know exactly what I mean. You can't just enjoy holidays when the person who would also enjoy them can't be there. It's just it's very difficult. I mean, and from my perspective, I would come home at the end of the day knowing full well that Abby was beat mentally, physically, because any 14-hour day that I put in, she put in too. So I come in, and I can't immediately be the disciplinary figure in the kids' lives. You know, I had to be the fun dad. So as everybody's sort of, losing it to a certain extent, I'm trying to make sure that everybody's okay. Trying to help Abby where I need to, but at the same time trying to remain the fun dad, because I know I only have 2 hours. Yeah. Not just like the fun dad. I don't think you just came in and uprooted the rules, but you're trying to make the most of the time and
but at the same time,
cram it in.
It became very unhealthy, because there's no balance to
there can't be a balance when you only get an hour with your family.
I mean, so anyway. And again, that might be other people's situations who are watching this, and it may be you considering options for your family, or, here's some encouragement that we went through it for 12 years, and, our kids still experienced really good memories with us in the time that we had.
It's exhausting trying to make the weekends worth, so much more than just 24 hours, but it can be done, and I feel like, once you can figure out a way to make it work, if you can lock down and dig your heels in, it can totally work. We did, in order to do that though, have to say no to so many events and so many almost like friendships, just all, all of the getting-togethers, all the get-togethers that people have in order to really focus on our family time. But it was well worth the sacrifice for the number of years that we had to do that, and I don't regret any of that we had to sacrifice in order to come to this point, you know what I mean? So anyway, I think it was it last summer when you got offered the management job?
Yep, yes it was.
So I think that's when the wheel started turning in our minds. John was offered a management position with the company. It's a dream come true for a lot of people. He was young enough to pursue that and also be able to move up, just like we just saw the what is the word? That all the doors opening for how quickly he could have climbed the corporate ladder there. But for whatever reason, we just felt so wrong. Like, everything was perfect. Everything would have been so good about that, but we just felt like it would have been so wrong for us. And I think that's when we started to notice, okay, we're feeling a big holdup about this. Maybe this isn't where our family's future is. And after that is when the hurricanes hit, and it just, time and time again, there were just so many bumps in the road that he wasn't able to help me deal with. Just thinking, like, with living in Florida and with hurricanes, we had to hire out basically the shutters getting put up. Doing all travel, all illness, all holidays, all surgeries, and for us, we always said, like, well, if he was a fireman or a paramedic, it would be worth the sacrifice. That's a community, what's the word? What, like, you're being a community helper. I'm stuck in first grade here. What's the...
A community helper?
Yeah, if you're like a fireman or a public servant.
You're a fireman.
You're a public servant, right? It's a public... You're being a... Come on, John, help me. Don't just make fun of me.
You are a hero.
Time and time again, he was not able to be here for our family in crisis times, not even able to use sick days when you're sick, because it's just such a chaos right now, at least in our current location. It's not this way across the country, but in our location, it is such a desperate situation in the company. So he wasn't able to be here at all for his family in literally crisis situations, like having to leave the state with the kids for a hurricane. Without him being faced with those types of situations were just overwhelming. And in those crisis situations, the job he was doing was not worth the sacrifice that it was taking on our family. That's what I was getting at.
Right.
So anyway, this was just, I guess, a really long way to say that John left his job and his hours are going to be very consistent and very normal now. I don't know. Pray for me, because I don't know what it's like to have a husband home in the afternoons. I'm already like, you have a very loud voice. Just quiet down.
And pray for me, because I'm going to understand what it's like to be at home with 4 children.
He's already like mixing up his...
That was a joke.
He's already like mixing up his words, like, how do you do this all the time? But yes, pray for him, because he is taking over bath time and bedtime duties for me. Just doesn't know it yet.
Acetaminophen.
What?
Or is that NyQuil?
Benadryl?
So I already got to get these medications
He's got to get this all figured out.
But no, we are so excited, and thank you guys.
Yeah, we just felt like sharing with you, because you guys have been very encouraging and supportive toward me during the long hours and the hard days, and you guys have very much kept me going on a lot of the very hard Instagram rambling at midnight when he's still not home kind of nights. So I thought you guys deserved a little update as far as what's going on. So John he's become a partner with his father's business. He's been around for about 40 years now, and we are very, very excited, and
can't wait.
Everybody's excited for us, and it's very encouraging, and
oh yeah,
we're looking forward to this next chapter. So that's an update there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you back to regularly scheduled programming.
And let you guys, or you guys let Abby know if you want to start seeing me featured in more videos.
John is 100% convinced he has a very deep fan base on this channel that are only here for him. All right.
This is not to take away from, you know, people whose spouses are in the military, because that's a completely different ball game. I don't know what that sacrifice looks like at all.
Mm-hmm.
My sacrifice, though, on my end is I'm leaving in the morning. I'm coming home at night when the kids are asleep. That morning time, we can't fit in like bike rides or like fun time. You know, time where I'm able to be hands-on with the kids, like in a learning way. That morning time had to be a routine for them to get started for their day.
Right.
So if we wanted to do anything extra, like to go for a bike ride, like my son Eli, these 12 years since he was born, how old is Eli?
He doesn't even know when his kids were born. He was Eli's 4.
Okay, since Eli was he's 4? Wow.
Are you talking about Jesse?
I'm talking about Eli.
Okay.
Since Eli has owned a bicycle, I can count on one hand how many times I've ridden a bike with him.
Yeah.
Really?
One hand.
No, but that's for real.
And also me, like I haven't been able to do that
Right.
as well because there's not support here at the house.
So you literally, the mornings you can't count, even though I start work a little later than what's normal.
Right, because
you can't count
if we get off our schedule first thing in the morning, oftentimes that means we're throwing our whole school day away.
And then nighttime I get home. If I get home and they're not asleep, they're getting ready to go to sleep. And then the weekends you don't have Friday night because I'm home late.
Like midnight
So
on Friday.
you have Saturday after whoever has a game Saturday morning. You have that time until Sunday at like 4 o'clock. And then you start getting ready for Monday again.
Because they would go in earlier on Monday.
Yeah, you literally have like 36 hours to do
everything. From mowing the yard to
housework,
going on a date.
Dates, kids time, me time. You know, you have you have no time. So that's what I'm saying.
Unless you are 100% like engaged and digging in, and it's just like overwhelming. There's no time to just like mentally unhook.
Even with that, exactly. There's not a lot of time to rest. So that was one of the main things. Is that dynamic has been happening for 12 years, and it just hit a point to where we were both so tired, and God opened our eyes through conversations with friends and just encouragement that there might be another option, and there was.
And I don't think that we were as tired until we knew there was another option, and then it just became like pointless to continue doing this when there was another option.
My last 2 weeks were
very difficult
to get through.
I think John decided back in like November that he was going to leave. And he told me, or around then.
It was a while back because I've been researching lots of stuff. Because I knew that if I just came to Abby and I just said, listen, I'm done, and I didn't have anything to back it up with, like data and
like
this is how it's going to be, this is what it's going to look
insurance,
like.
all those details.
Yeah, if I didn't have that, I knew she was going to,
tell him no, go back to work.
So
anyway, so he's known since about that, and he told me like the first week of January. And that all this was going on, and he didn't leave until now, so mid-February. But he didn't put his 2 weeks. He put like a 3 weeks notice in. So those were like the longest 5 or 6 weeks of our lives because we knew we were done, but we still had to do those hours. So it's just like, why are we doing this? I barely even did school. I was just like, I don't know how to follow my routine. Everything feels like it's just a big old wash right now.
And then once you let yourself accept, what did you block me out for? Once you let yourself accept the fact that this isn't right, then every time I was out late, I was just like, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah, this is
drive
when I
back
would
to
get on Instagram. So all the times that I would complain to you guys online on the Insta stories and be like, just so lonely. It's because I knew we weren't doing this anymore, and it just like we just had to keep doing it, and it just felt crazy. It just felt crazy, and I would just have all these like floods of memories of all my friends like over the years telling me like, oh, those hours seem crazy, and me being like, ugh, I cannot believe they would say that to me. Why would they try to just like throw me off my game, you know, because you just keep going. So then all those nights I'm like, so-and-so was right, so-and-so was right, this is crazy. And it's just like all of that like that I had suppressed was just like raging out of me like, this is crazy, I don't want to do this anymore. So it was really hard last couple of months. But and then he quit. He had his last day, and all of our kids are sick, so.
Oh yeah, that was a great welcome home surprise.
The kids like made him a banner and hung it up. And...
I literally walked in the door. I hear, hold on, and then I hear,
just come in.
Just come inside. I walk in, there's a big banner that says, welcome home, Daddy. And then I look on the floor and there's blood everywhere. And then I look on the couch and there's a kid with the stomach bug. Sick as a dog, and I'm like,
and, well, you have to explain the blood because it sounds like
Bella. We have trim ripped up on our baseboards, and I didn't tear out some of the nails, and she stubbed her toe on a nail.
And
her heel.
Was like bleeding everywhere.
Blood was everywhere.
And then Eli's on the couch with a bucket, thinking he was gonna throw up, and we're like, "Welcome home."
They just wanted to give me a good dose of what it's gonna be like.
Are you sure you really want to come home to this?
Yep. So.
All right. So now that's really it. All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.